are the best players on your defense. There lies the problem. Now, it's not a problem because those guys are going to be your superstars in the next coming years.
You build around them.
You build around them.
So let's say you got an Ernest Hausman. You go get another Ernest Hausman to keep Ernest, the real Ernest Hausman. Ernest. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor.
Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson from Lincoln Public Schools on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Ticket Weeknights, a little bit different version of Ticket Weeknights. We got Bigger Than the Score tonight. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving week in and out, but we do have Bigger Than the Score tonight. And, of course, we got the host, Pete Ferguson, and also a special guest tonight. Pete, I'll go ahead and let you kind of bring her in.
Well, I had to say we maybe brought into the bloodlines today. I always kind of say tongue-in-cheek, the second best athlete in our house. She's looking at me, rolling her eyes, so you'll probably get the down low on that. But Pete Ferguson here, Peter Ferguson, BHS, LLC, and also Lincoln Public Schools. And Harrison, thanks for having me in on a Wednesday night. Actually, have my daughter, Jaden Ferguson, who came home for break. And so I said, I'm going to put you to work a little bit as she rolled into the house and join us. She says, I want to see what this looks like on air. So brought her into the studio tonight.
Yeah, super cool. And Jaden, when you first knew that Pete was doing this, what first came through your mind?
I had a lot of questions from my volleyball team. Like, your dad's on the radio now? Because they always have questions about what he does for work. And, I was like, yeah, he's doing a radio show. Sure.
See, I get more followers. Like I have yet to have her accept my request to follow her on Twitter or whatever else. So I get more likes from her team than I actually do from her. I get questions of, really, you wore that? What you talked about this? So
yeah, and then like I said, for the show, the text line will be open. Set up the Starter Hammond text line 402-464-5685. If you guys got any questions you want to ask Pete or Jaden, as we kind of got an hour here to kind of get to know Jaden a little bit more of Pete's family. So I do got to ask you, Jaden, also this question as well. Does the Cowboys faith, does that run all the way through the bloodline, or are you out on the Cowboys?
I'm kind of a fake football fan, so I go with the Cowboys so I can stay in the house. But I've worn some Chiefs gear, but for the Cowboys versus the Chiefs games, I did wear Cowboys gear.
Okay, so you make sure that Chiefs gear stays away when the Cowboys
I do.
playing.
Well, you wear that Chiefs gear, you got to pay for the ticket. You pay for the Chiefs Cowboys ticket. So you come strong, and we can limit that. You're on insurance till 26. We can move that back to like 21 and a half.
It was a delayed invite, so I figured to play it safe.
Oh, absolutely. So Pete, I'll kind of let you take over on this one and kind of tell us who Jaden is and what she's doing right now with her life as we kind of get to know her.
Yeah, I'm gonna, let her share a little bit about that. But obviously, I've spoken on past shows and things like that, kind of giving updates. And she's a volleyball or scholar, I should say, a scholar athlete out at Northwest Missouri State right now. She'll talk a little bit about that journey. Has been a graduate of Lincoln Public Schools, and so I thought it was kind of nice over that Thanksgiving weekend when we have a lot of scholars who have gone through LPS are coming back during this time. And to be honest, has spoken really proud of her, but has had a tremendous multi-involved experience through LPS, and I'll let her share a little bit more about that through her experience. So, Jaden, I'm going to maybe turn it over to you and just maybe share briefly like who you are, what you've done during your time in LPS, and where you're at now.
I graduated from Lincoln Southwest in 2019, so I'm going in my senior year of college here at Northwest Missouri State. I just finished volleyball last weekend, my last game ever. So that was kind of big for me, but I played 3 sports at Southwest. I went to Belmont Elementary and SCO Middle School, and I did all the sports, all the activities, student council, that type of stuff. And really, I just really value that, like education wise. It just kind of came out that we had district academic awards this year, and that kind of sets you up to be an academic All-American, and I just made that list with,
that's awesome,
with our highest GPA on our volleyball team. So just going with Lincoln Public Schools.
I just need to come to the radio show and learn stuff because I didn't even know that. So I'm looking.
That's incredible.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. So
got your smarts from your daddy.
Yeah. But just Lincoln Public Schools kind of valued like education and like with sports and going through, I've always kind of put that first, and that's kind of showing now with college and one of like the highest awards that you can get academically at the college level.
So you said you were a multi-sport athlete, but then you also just shared that nugget there where you were the highest GPA on the volleyball team. A lot of students, if they're involved in a lot of things, they like to make excuses about, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have time. How did you make time for it? And was it something that you had to really stress on? I need to make sure I get my schoolwork done. And how do you just balance a workload like that, being so involved in everything?
It was definitely hard at first. I was never a math or science person, and I think that kind of helped me out because I had to work really hard at it. And there were times that I was staying up late to study for those and getting extra help and having tutors and that type of stuff. And so that really just kind of pushed me in high school and in middle school to kind of start that early. And then when I got on my team freshman year, we had a 3.8 GPA collectively, and our coach really stressed like keeping that up. Like if it would dip below a 3.6, she was like, all right, we need to focus on school more. So I think having that strive earlier in education to kind of balance and time management and get organized really helped me out in college with that high expectation.
Who is the head coach? Because you got to give her 3.8 GPA.
Yeah,
she's still harping on getting that done.
Yeah, we had a lot of science and math majors on our team, and I was like the lone journalism major. But yeah, our head coach Amy Worth really stressed academics, and at the time, our assistant coach Elena Masalskis, she really was the one that would check in, making sure you're doing your study table hours and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I was going to say I had those numbers in my GPA. I don't know what exact order they came in, maybe the 8.3. But hey, Jaden, tell us a little bit and just on your journey, like how did you get involved in sports? What did that look like for you? What did you enjoy? What didn't you enjoy? Kind of why did you gravitate towards certain things?
Definitely, you were the one that like kind of pushed me towards sports and basketball. And my mom kind of ended up pushing me towards volleyball when I was younger, just to kind of experience all the different sports. I did softball, basketball. I did track in high school, and that was just kind of a later thing that I started. But I just really loved being on a team and being competitive. I'm definitely a competitive person. And so being able to do that on a daily basis kind of just met those needs that I needed to be a well-rounded student, be a well-rounded person. And as I got later on, it kind of helped develop character-wise, and kind of having goals and being able to achieve those really helped me out and kept me focused, I think.
And you talked a little bit about that. Talked about just also being multi-involved. What did that look like? You talked about a little bit of the balance in your academics and those things, but being multi-involved, how did that come to be? And do you feel like that was a benefit, or did you feel like you were overwhelmed by that?
Kind of the first experience that I had with being involved in things outside of sports and school was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Rally in March. And that was something that not a lot of people knew I did. And I didn't really express it to a lot of people just because I thought it was a normal thing because I started when I was really young. But doing that was one of the first experiences that I had doing something that was not school related or kind of sport related, because sports and school kind of went hand in hand at the time. And that kind of led me to choose journalism and communications because that was something that I felt comfortable with and was good at. Like I said, I was not a math or science person, and that was something that came naturally to a lot of people. And I think being involved in those outside things just helped me find new friends and be able to be involved with more than just the people that went to my school.
Yeah, and then I do want to ask, a lot of people, especially now, it's such a weird thing that you'll have people say, you don't want to be a multi-sport athlete. You want to focus on one sport. Don't get yourself involved in too many activities. Otherwise, you won't excel or succeed in one. Kind of what are your thoughts on that? And what are some of the pros to doing more than just one sport?
I definitely think everyone should be involved in more than one sport, especially throughout high school. If you really do love two sports, you shouldn't quit. I'm not recommending anyone be as crazy as I was and do 3 sports at one time and do 2 club sports. I don't recommend that to a lot of people. But doing 2 sports helps you get outside your comfort zone. Track was something that I wanted to do because it was something that I had never done, and I wanted to be with a new group of people. I felt like I needed a break from volleyball and basketball because I'd been doing it so long. And I'm glad one of our coaches, Nicole Kubik, pushed me to do it and was kind of harping on me for months to get involved. And that was kind of my first experience doing something other than volleyball or basketball. And I recommend it with high school because it's easy to do it. You're at school already. You can't ever leave the parking lot until 3:30 anyway. So just stay the extra half hour and go try something new, be with new people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I will say it's definitely worth trying everything. My senior year, I just went out for track just to go and try it. Absolutely hated it. I despised it so much, but I figured out I did like running. I hate running to the sound of a gun popping off to get going, but I figured out, this cardio, I kind of enjoyed it. So you do learn things that, it's uncomfortable at first, but you learn to like it. And then Pete, were you involved in trying to get her to try more things, or did you just lay back and let her make her own road?
She talked about I was her coach for softball, basketball. My wife did the volleyball team for 1 or 2 years, and then she was like, I got a jet. We'll find some other people to do that. But I mean, I enjoyed coaching. I enjoyed that time that we had together, but I also know there were some stresses and frustrations. And I know we've had parents on here in the first, I always decided, make it their journey. I wanted her to try everything, but I think my biggest thing is to make sure you value the high school experience, what that would look like. And so I know a lot of people are like, okay, in second grade, oh, you have potential, or you can do this. And it was more of, when you get to high school, you got 4 years for something really awesome to happen. And I feel like I stressed that to her and her friends more so than what is, if you get fortunate enough to have a college experience, and not just on the court, but just, I don't say extracurricular, but service learning opportunities, giving back. And so I know she got tired of those sometimes because it was like, I'm always, doing this with young kids, and she's always been great with that, or, giving back. But, for me, that was the cool part, seeing people gravitate towards her and her friends in those circles. Not so much the pushing and saying, okay, I want you to be a basketball star, I want you to do volleyball, or I want you to do track. That was kind of the push of just be well-rounded, get the experiences that I know that at the end, and the relationships that are going to be much more valuable, honestly, bigger than the score.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way you tied the name of the title on there, bigger than the score. Like you said, even just away from the sports, just the ability to communicate with other people. You get on those team sports, volleyball, even track, even though it's more individual, you're still competing for one score, and it's all got to be a team effort. What are some of the things that, through doing all these different things that you've really learned that help you succeed in life, making those connections, trying a bunch of different things, getting uncomfortable? What are some of the biggest takeaways you've had from your experiences being so involved?
I think one of the biggest takeaways that I've had has come from track, because the track coach was always saying the best is yet to come. Schuster was just kind of really important and impacted a lot of athletes in a different way. He made it about really the score. Track can be such an individualized sport, but he really focused on winning a state team title. His goal was not to have individual champions. It was to have team titles. And that just put a stress on teamwork and valuing each individual for what they bring. And throughout college, that has also been really important, because you're not always going to be the star. You have to know your role and really embrace it and learn about it and do it to the best of your ability, because you're not always going to be on top. You might be one of the last people on the bench to be picked to go in.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get to our break here, I do want to ask, as you're making that transition, out of high school, doing all those different things into college, as you're trying to sort that route out, what are kind of some of the things that were so important for you going to college and then also pursuing volleyball at the same time? Was it you wanted to do volleyball later down the road in college, or was it academics first, and if volleyball's there, I'll play volleyball?
When I was looking at colleges, I didn't know if I wanted to do basketball or volleyball, but I wanted to be at a school that I loved. And Northwest Missouri State has a great journalism program. It is one of the best ones in the Midwest area. And so I looked at schools first. So academics was definitely first. And my dad definitely pushed that and stressed that being at a college that you like. And that's definitely what kept me there for 4 years, because volleyball wasn't always the easiest thing to do.
But I think, Harrison, one of the things too is, what I would like to say to parents is, I know when she was playing on teams and we would travel and go places, I know, again, it was somewhat annoying at the time, but it was like we would go onto a college campus.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I think I remember as early as 5th, 6th, 7th grade, we were just like, hey, let's just go on. We're at Wisconsin. Let's just go on the campus and see what it looks like. Let's go to Mankato State or South Dakota and just walk on campus. And originally it was, okay, we'll walk in the admissions office and she would get a free t-shirt, and it's like, okay, I'm doing this. But then later what we realized is, okay, what you like, kind of the environment you want to be in. Is Nebraska a size? If, whether you're playing sports or not, is that a place you want to be? And so you can only go to the Iowa Fieldhouse so many times and, eat at this restaurant or go to Panera or whatever else. And so I think that really helped not only us as a family, but also her kind of nail down, okay, this is the size of what I'm interested, where I can see myself being. And I remember when she, my wife called and said, I think this is it. And she just said, she said she can see herself being here, even if she's not playing a sport. And that's what you want to hear. I mean, as much as you want them to have success on the athletic or the academics, you want them to want to be there. Even if, the other things, that may have brought them there, or, like the athletics or whatever goes kind of south.
Yeah.
And that was cool to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do like what you said, because I know for my college planning, I did not go break down as much as I should have. I was I want to get far away from my parents, and B, go somewhere warmer. Well, I failed at the second part. I didn't get any more warmer, but stayed in here. And I see we got our guest joining us. So I do got one more question. When you were picking your major, you said you were set on journalism pretty early. What's the calling with journalism? Why is that something you really want to be involved in?
It was definitely, I was getting far away from math and science. But then I was trying to think of what I could do communications wise and what felt right. And I knew with journalism, you can cover a lot of areas. You can do sports. And that was something that I knew would come easy to me. But I was also thinking about how could I continue doing something similar to the youth rally in March that focused on the community. And I knew through journalism and through learning those writing skills, I could do that.
Absolutely. With that being said, we are up to our first break here. This is Bigger Than the Score. I'm Harrison Arns running the board. And of course, we got the host, Pete Ferguson, and Jaden in here as well. We got 2 more segments ahead, and we will be joined by another guest on the next segment all the way up until 7 o'clock. So stay tuned in. Bigger Than the Score on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska Golf Team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
The Heartland Diamond from Sartor Heyman Jewelers was born from an unrelenting desire for more sparkle, designed to shine as bright as your love. The difference between the Heartland and the traditional cut is clearly visible with the naked eye. By adding 32 additional facets, our skilled craftsmen have created a masterpiece, a diamond that truly reflects your passion and desire. Stop in and see the brilliance of the Heartland Diamond for yourself. Exclusively at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within a year. Skilled trade positions start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street, where Husker sports talk, and most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Maximize your savings with Bryant. Bryant offers efficient heating and cooling system options to help you save on your monthly utility bill. If you act now, their team will secure all available rebates to maximize your savings. Hurry, these rebates are for a limited time only. Call Bryant. Ask for a free estimate to save and improve your comfort. 467-1111. Online at BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Get an immediate look back at the game from the people who know it best. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word live from Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hear from former players and national champions like Jay Foreman, Rashawn Jackson, and Aaron Davis and see what they saw in that day's game. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word, live and in person, home or away at Tanner's Bar and Grill, brought to you by Bauer Infrastructure. Only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson from Lincoln Public Schools on 93.7 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, welcome back to a special Wednesday edition of Bigger Than the Score, and I'm on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Pete Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC and also Lincoln Public Schools. And joined here in the studio, I got to thank Harrison for being here on a Wednesday night. I know they've had a lot of state football going on, and a really nice game last night.
Incredible game.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I was gonna say, I think that got to be one for the ages, and they'll say best all time. And then joined here by, I would say, a football fan. I'm gonna say another Dallas Cowboy fan. DP left the office, so I can go ahead and say Jaden Ferguson, who is my daughter, who I've actually spoken about, a LPS grad and now currently at Northwest Missouri State. And we're joined here by another guest, I believe, Mr. Adam Bertine.
Hey, Peter. Hey, Jaden.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Well, Harrison, you want to give people information on how they can, if they want to call in, ask questions, make a comment, leave some thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to chime in here at all, we're going all the way up until 7 o'clock. So you can hit up the Sartor Heyman text line. That's 402-464-5685. If you want to call in as well, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, same number, 402-464-5685. And I'll kind of read those as they come in here.
Awesome. Well, hey, before we transition, I know we got Adam on the line and on a Zoom, but Jaden, as we transition a little bit, talk a little bit about the training that's been involved, because Adam, he'll talk about his background and what he does, but talk about what training and kind of the stages that you were in, from, elementary to that middle, high school, to what that's looked like in college and the importance of that.
Elementary school, definitely was kind of running around with my head cut off, just playing sports. I liked it. But as I kind of transitioned into middle school and 8th grade, really, I think was my first experience kind of weightlifting, and didn't always enjoy it because I was sometimes forced to go. But that really helped me out, because in high school, I started really weight training, lifting, conditioning, especially at Southwest. They had a good program that actually taught you how to lift weights, which I was really grateful for. And then I had the experiences of working out with Adam and getting to train with him and learn running mechanics and different lifting mechanics throughout my kind of late high school and college years. And in college, definitely was heavier on weight training, lots of conditioning, especially in the spring and summers.
Awesome. And real quick before we go to that, and Adam will kind of we'll have him introduce himself. What, as a female athlete, you hear a lot of people, I don't want to bulk up, I don't want to get in the weight room and do this and that. Why was that so important to not only just your success as a scholar athlete, but just also kind of that built-in sense of who you were and identity?
Lifting was important just because everybody's body is different, and not everyone actually bulks up. Some people do end up gaining muscle because they are lighter on weightlifting, and when they first start lifting, they kind of get that muscle definition. But definitely lifting helped me out. It made me stronger as an athlete and helped me be more confident when I was making moves. Especially as you get older, you start to see girls get more injured, wear and tear issues, that type of stuff. But definitely lifting earlier on helped me know my body, know how to feel soreness versus being hurt, and kind of being able to identify those things. So I was able to not be hurt.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, it's a great segue. Adam Bertine, and Adam is out in Colorado. I don't want to say Denver because I know you're in very out there making it happen. So, but Adam, I have known Adam since college. Adam and I were actually roommates, and so Adam will say that he gives me credit when Jaden says she was forced to go. Adam will say the same thing, that I had influence on him as we met in college. But Adam, welcome, and please tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for Pete for having me on, and yeah, Jaden, I can affirm that Pete made me go to the weight room too, because I was not. I thought I was just farm strong growing up on a farm in Brady, Nebraska, but getting to college, it was a whole different ball game. And I always like to say that Pete made me lift arms every single day we went in there, because I guess having big arms really makes you a really great basketball player, or at least intimidate the other team. So
when you're introduced to, warm-ups, the starting lineup.
Exactly. But no, yeah, I own a personal training business and sports performance business out in Denver, Colorado. And I do quite a few things out here. and with a lot of youth athletes. And yes, I got the privilege of having Jaden out here a couple summers to train and work on a few things. And I primarily have worked with youth the last 20 some years, primarily volleyball players, ironically enough. And so I've been doing that. I've been around Denver and surrounding areas for that long, and probably trained over 4,000 volleyball athletes alone. And so it's been a good business for me, and I love being able to impact young lives.
Adam, you brought up a couple of different points. We had Stuart Venable on, and I know you and Coach Stu have a tremendous relationship. And he talked just about the importance of sports and conditioning, speed and agility, and just kind of strength training as well for young athletes, in particular female athletes. Speak a little bit more just about like the impact that has, why that's been so important. Also, you've come to Lincoln a number of times and engaged with athletes over at North Star, Summit East, and just Southwest as well. So why is that important in general for young female athletes, especially to be exposed to sports and sports performance?
Well, I think it's important. I mean, Jaden actually touched on it briefly. And one of the biggest things that I see is the confidence level of female athletes go up. And I always like to say, you're either strong or you're not, right? And when you need a certain amount of strength, you either have it because you've worked on it, or you don't have it. And that's just the facts. So what I've really come to believe and see over the last 22 years of training female athletes primarily, and being in Denver, I think I was I wouldn't say I was the first, but I was one of the leaders, I think, in really starting to create strength training programs for female athletes in the volleyball community. And I really think that sometimes I think that the female athletes were a little bit more receptive because they didn't really have any preconceived ideas of what they were supposed to get out of it. One, yes, they thought, well, I don't want to get bulky, I don't want to get big, but a lot of my female athletes, the thing that they always come back to me and say is like how confident they are. And I'll tell you, like, these girls, like they're just as apt to come in and show off their muscles and pull their sleeves up because they like what they see. And and when they're on the court against other female athletes, and they look across and they can tell the girls that aren't doing the strength training, they can tell the girls that aren't putting in the extra work. It gives them a little bit of confidence, and vice versa. The other athletes that are looking at the athletes that I've trained, and this is coming from other athletes, isn't just me saying that, is that they are intimidated by either seeing a girl on the other side who's stronger than them, right? Or they're like, I can really take this girl because I can tell she isn't very strong. So I think that just adds a level of confidence to them. And Jaden said the other thing that I think is really important is the injury risk reduction. I don't think you can eliminate the risk of injury completely, but the athletes that are stronger are more resilient. When they're in 3-day tournaments and they're playing long games, they don't get as tired. The other athletes wear down. And again, when you're out there and you can have a lower risk of injuries and you have greater confidence, I think that overall you're going to win more games and you're just going to have a much better experience.
Awesome. Well, again, this is Pete Ferguson, Bigger Than the Score on 93.7 The Ticket, joined here by Jaden Ferguson and Adam Bertine, who is I want to say sports performance guru out in the Colorado area. Hey, Adam, tell us some of the people that you've trained and you worked with. Known you a while, but I mean, you've got some individuals that that have had phenomenal careers, but you've also got a few that are entering their freshman year, not only in the collegiate level, but also have just signed that people may be aware of, especially us being in the Big Ten.
Yeah. I've been very, very fortunate. Last year, actually, the last previous 4 years, I was able to train and work with the number one female college basketball recruit in the nation, Lauren Betts, and you'll be seeing her. She actually has been getting some minutes out at Stanford now. And one of the things that, really was important for us with her was developing some strength. And she had, just some mechanical and efficiency issues that we had to deal with, so that being 6'8" as a freshman in high school, you end up not really knowing how to move that well, right? And it creates a lot of stress on your body. And another, her sister, Sienna Betts, I'm working with. She's a sophomore. I think she's the number one forward recruit basketball player in the nation, maybe 5 overall as a sophomore. I've worked with Carter Booth, who's a 6'7" middle at Minnesota right now, and she just set. I think she's leading she's not leading. I think she's fourth and 10.
Yeah.
Fourth in the Big Ten, I think, in blocks, and I think she might be 16th in the nation. Last I knew, that may have changed since last week. And then her brother Kerry Booth, who is the son of the GM for the Denver Nuggets. I've worked with him for 3 or 4 years, and he's actually now at a prep school. And I think he's in the top. He was in the top 100. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the top 50. And he just signed with Penn State to go play basketball out there. So yeah, I've gotten to work with a lot of individuals that are playing at a high level, and I've worked at with individuals that are at schools that are playing at high levels. That one of my girls plays out at Colorado Mesa, and she was an All-American and won a beach volleyball national championship. I think it was the first time a Colorado or a team that wasn't on the coast won a beach national championship, and they won the Division II beach volleyball last year. So I think
you're going to be so we've got to hold you responsible as the headache on the Big Ten side on volleyball and basketball if things happen.
Yeah, really quick, just looked it up for Carter Booth, and she does currently lead the team right now with 1.36 blocks per set, 4th in the Big Ten, and that also set the Minnesota freshman record with 11 blocks in her first game against Baylor.
Jeez.
Wow. Yeah, she's a force, and I get the fun thing about that, and just that whole family is they're awesome. And during COVID, when COVID first started, the Nuggets were in the playoffs, and they couldn't go anywhere to train. Obviously, the gyms were shut down, so I was actually packing up my gym and going to their house 4 days a week and training their kids. They're in their garage outside. And when you want to know kind of what it takes to be great, you kind of make sacrifices and you figure things out, right? A lot of people said, the gyms are closed. Oh, I can't work out. Oh, I have other things to do. It's COVID. Well, these athletes and even the younger sister who's coming up, Campbell, I think she's 12. They did a lot of the extra things that a lot of people aren't willing to do, and their success now is being proved because for 2 years they did a lot of things, and we made some sacrifices. I made sacrifices driving to their house, but I love that family, and the results are showing right now.
Awesome. Adam, Jaden, tell us a little bit about, we've got, obviously you're in Denver, so people aren't going to drive, day in and day out to come see you. But if you're talking to, middle school, high school athletes, we're in that kind of transition of season for those that are multi-sport. So going from, whether it be football or volleyball to basketball, swimming, wrestling, whatever that might look like. What is something as an athlete that they should be taking into account with their body and either working on to strengthen or just something they need to be very, very aware of that kind of gets neglected until like we're going to build up during the summer?
Well, I think it's there's a saying I heard one time. It said that you don't have to do it all day, but you have to do something every day. And I think there's little things that athletes can do, and obviously you have to pay attention to your body, how you're recovering. There's the idea that athletes are overtrained. Sometimes I don't know that they're overtrained as much as they are under recovered. And recovery encompasses lots of things. It encompasses how much sleep are they getting. It encompasses how many days have they been training or playing games, and at what intensity. I mean, sometimes those things can be lessened. Maybe the practices or depending on how their bodies are feeling. How much protein are they getting? What's their diet like? Because if they're eating a lot of sugar, if they're not feeding their body with real foods, if they're not getting enough protein in, their body just isn't able to recover. And if you look at the collegiate athletes that play, I mean, they practice. I mean, you and I, we played basketball. We practiced 5-6 days a week, during the season, and then we had games, and Trader gave us a couple days off.
Harrison's got to understand that. We got to explain to Harrison. They didn't have that NCAA, time limit. So, film session was like, it was a full drawn out, like Avengers 3.5 hour deal. And then, maybe 2.5 hours on the court, so.
Yeah. So, if you look at collegiate athletes, I mean, they're training, they're going to school full time. But they're doing the things to recover. They're doing foam rolling. They're doing ice baths. They're doing stretching. Their diets are on point. So those are all the things that I think as young athletes, it's good to develop those habits. And if anybody has any specific questions, feel free to share my email on the site, and I'd be happy to try to give them some more specific information.
Yeah, we'll plug that in after the show. I'll go ahead and podcast it, and I'll put your email on there. So if you got anyone,
perfect,
you want to reach out to Adam and try to figure out maybe what are the next steps, or get a hold of him, trying to set up say your daughter or someone to get right, get healthy, get stronger. I'll put that email on the podcast link. So it'll be on the ticketfm.com. Bigger Than the Score. You can find Adam's information there.
Awesome. So both of you, I want Jaden and Adam, tell us a little bit of we always talk about just who have been mentors, who have been people that have impacted, your lives going forward. So Jaden, maybe share with us a little bit, who have been mentors in your life and what impact have they played? And Adam, I'm going to ask you the same thing.
I've had a lot of coaches in the past, whether it's been volleyball, basketball, but two of the biggest coaches that I've had have been you as my dad, like coaching me. There was a lot of lessons that I didn't probably take well when I was younger, especially middle school time. But as I was in college, there was a lot of stuff that I kind of realized that I was just like, I'm glad I had to learn that early, so I wasn't doing it as a 20-year-old in college, and that just would have really helped me out. But it wasn't a lesson I wanted to learn as a 8th grader. And then one of the volleyball coaches that I've had that I didn't have for a very long time, but my freshman year volleyball coach, Mary Schropfer, she came up to my last game this past weekend in Wayne, Nebraska, and she has always been someone that will text me occasionally being like, hey, how's it going? Do you need help with anything? Like, let's get together over Christmas break. She has definitely been someone that taught me a lot freshman year, even though I didn't realize it. But the things that she remembered coming back, she remembered our last point at state and was like, I just want to let you know, you were a key part of that. And you were I'm glad that you're here now. So I think she was definitely a big mentor for me volleyball wise too.
Absolutely. And yeah, I like what you said though, because those mentors, you absolutely need them. You realize it, a lot of times when it's a lot later in life, how much they helped you out. But I like what you said there. But we got to go to break here. We got one more segment. This is Bigger Than the Score at 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com. We will be back right after this break.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you've put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always golf weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Chances are you haven't started thinking about holiday shopping yet. Chances are your holidays will be much less stressful if you could do all of that shopping in one place. Chances are you can have all that shopping done today with the help of Beatrice Bakery. Pick up Grandma's fruitcakes in sizes all the way up to 5 pounds, and you can sit back and relax this year. Order now at BeatriceBakery.com or buy them here in Lincoln at the From Nebraska gift shop at 8th and Q. Beatrice Bakery, welcome to our world of yum. Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
The World Cup is back, and Lincoln has great places to watch all the great soccer action. Rosie's downtown at 10th and P and Captain Jack's at 12th and P have teamed up with American Outlaws for watch parties to cheer on the USA. Matches go all week long, but make sure to stop by on Black Friday for USA versus England. Rosie's and Captain Jack's will both be open at 8 a.m. for the 11 a.m. match, and stick around to watch the Nebraska-Iowa game right after. It's the World Cup at Rosie's Downtown and Captain Jack's with the American Outlaws.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Are you looking for some holiday fun right in the heart of downtown Lincoln? Bring your friends and family to Lincoln's largest drive-through Christmas lights experience. This show features countless high-quality lights in vibrant colors, holiday props, and favorite characters of the season, all synchronized to music to enjoy in your car. Start a new holiday tradition this year and experience the magic of Nebraska Christmas Light Show at Haymarket Park from November 26th to January 3rd, 5 p.m. to midnight. Purchase tickets today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tailgate pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Expect mostly sunny skies, mild temps yet again with a high of 56. Winds out of the southwest at around 10. We'll start to see a few clouds sneaking into the region tonight with a low of 25. We'll call for a mix of sun and clouds eventually tomorrow, but still remain mild with a high of 54. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson from Lincoln Public Schools on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Bigger Than the Score on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC and Lincoln Public Schools. I have the privilege and honor to be joined by Jaden Ferguson and Mr. Adam Bertine, a former, I want to say friend, but also a former roommate at Hastings College, Weir Hall. Got to give a shout out to room 206 out there in Hastings, Nebraska. No more stories on that. We'll just leave it there. But hey, Adam, we left off on just asking about mentors, and you have obviously been a mentor to so many people. But who have been some mentors in your life?
I would say I could probably pick out three right now. I mean, the first one would be my high school basketball coach, Coach Terry Skinner. He basically was why I stayed in Brady instead of going to a nearby town to play basketball. I just love that guy, and he really taught me. He was the first person to really teach me how to work really hard, like in practice, and like his expectations were really high. The second person was a client of mine out here. His name was George Harris, and he passed away several years ago. But he was just this guy who was like a second dad to me. And him and I had all kinds of conversations. He was black, I was white, and he was on one political spectrum, I was on the other. And we had conversations that were respectful. That he taught me how to see and believe, or understand why he had certain beliefs that he had, and I was able to kind of explain to him why I had certain beliefs, and we had a really awesome relationship. And I was like, man, we both spoke about it. Like if we could get this country to actually have conversations around things instead of being, so divisive, we'd have much better society here. And it was just awesome. And the other one would be probably my professional mentor, Lauren Landau, who's the strength coach for the Denver Broncos, and who I was privileged enough to work at his facility for 7-8 years, and he was just a great mentor in terms of science and training stuff. So those three people had a really huge impact on my career and just my life in general.
Awesome. Both of you shared a lot of just insight and, nuggets on just, advice to people. But, what's one thing, if you had one piece of advice that you just said, you know what, this is absolutely essential. And I'm going to be specific towards that scholar athlete. What's the one thing you would say to the scholar athlete? And then what's the one thing that you would say, piece of advice you'd give to the parent? And I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Adam, first, and then we'll let Jaden.
Shoot, I only get one. I wrote down 5 things. you know how I like to be prepared.
That car ride is real short, so
now I've got to figure it out. Well, I would say for scholar athletes, I'd say the most important thing is that you need to expect that there to be struggle and disappointments, and your success comes on the other side of those struggles. Too much time we try to protect and shield our kids and our youth from going through adversity, going through things that are hard, and it's necessary. And you don't get stronger in the weight room without some challenges. So that's what I would say for the scholar athletes is no matter what that is, life, sports, relationships, expect some challenges, but fight through them.
All right. With the closing music, Jaden, what's one thing?
I think it's okay to fail, and mental health is one of the most important things because you have to value yourself before you put value into sports.
Hey, as I want to thank Jaden and I want to thank Adam for being on tonight on the special edition of Bigger Than the Score on 93.7 The Ticket. Again, this is Pete Ferguson. And as I've always kind of open and close, I often forget what people have said, forget what people have done, but I always remember how people have made you feel. So with that being said, everybody have a great holiday week, and we will see you back again next week.
Thank you.